Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was phenomenal. Now this is something completely new. I've never done this on my channel before. It's a review for a movie, but I had to do respect to my boy, a road dog, the day one, Sonic the Hedgehog. So I got to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2 today on its release, and I have to say Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was phenomenal. And I've been a long time Sonic fan, so you know my critique is going to be on the deep. This series has had me in the trenches from the good to the bad, long time. Want to see more recent eras? Oh, I got Sonic Lost World. Want to go down the timeline a little bit more? The original Sonic Colors, not even the remake, just the original one on Wii. If you want to take it a step further, I still got this. You're probably wondering what this is. This is actually a Game Boy Advance cartridge for Sonic Battle. You can see it's written on there. So I can see, can you? There you go. There you go. See, yeah, Sonic Battle on there. You still see a little bit of the regular logo on there. I don't even know if y'all even seen this before. The OGs know about this. Sonic 3D Blast on CD. Boy, me saying all of that, it may seem like I may be biased towards Sonic, which may have a bias towards Sonic, but Sonic fans are the most critical of Sonic products. The first Sonic movie is already really good, but this elevated the franchise as a whole in a multimedia direction to the next level. Even if you haven't seen the first movie, you could still get by just seeing this and you'd be fine, but it's still better if you've seen the first movie, so you can really see the growth, the progression, the development in characters like Sonic, Tom, even Robotnik and Stone. They're really evolving, and you can feel the passion emanating from each and every one of the characters, from the human characters to Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and Robotnik and Stone, even the actual gun agents. And one of the biggest things that I have respect for them for is mentioning how that they aren't going to just be riding along the coattails of how the games did it, which I'm perfectly fine with, because if we had to wait 3 movies just for them to meet Knuckles, no, that would take the pacing a little bit too far, because these movies have such more high detail than the other classic games did, so it's not going to be as quick. The actual pacing of the way they're releasing this movies in this quote-unquote Sonic cinematic universe, if you wanted to even call it that, is really, really good from movie to movie and in their own timeline of the Sonic verse. I haven't said any spoilers yet, but just know this is a spoiler talk. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. If you ain't seen the movie dip right now, you can stop watching here. I have to say, I'm not really sure how long this movie was, but it really felt like it was both longer than the first movie, and the amount they got accomplished was really, really well done. As far as Sonic goes, a lot of people's initial issues with how Sonic was in the first movie was about he was a bit too childish maybe, but that just made how Sonic grew and the challenges he faces in this second movie much more important. How he wanted to be a hero, he wanted to save people's lives, but he wasn't taking responsibility for the silliness and some of the destruction he was causing along the way. And that's when Tom told him, like, look, it's not about doing stuff for you, it's about taking responsibility for others. So he has a phase to where he's trying to do all this stuff to make himself feel like a hero, so he can feel like he's honoring Longclaw. Then he has a phase to where he starts taking responsibility for others a little bit, but somebody like Tails ends up getting hurt pretty bad, almost to death, so he feels like he has to do it alone. But it's not about that either. He learns he has to take responsibility for others, as well as still realizing he's not alone in this. He has to acknowledge the presence of other people, but acknowledge that they can help him too along the way. They can help him grow, they can help him progress, they can help him grow up. Because that's a lot of what this movie focuses on for Sonic in general, is he's still really young and he has to grow. Even in the situation when dealing with Knuckles at the beginning, Robotnik comes back, he comes along with Knuckles, and even when he's fighting Knuckles, he's acting really cocky and confident because of how he defeated Robotnik the first time, even though it wasn't easy. Overconfident and not taking it completely seriously. And that's how Knuckles absolutely folds this, man, because he has the strength to do it. Sonic has the speed, but Knuckles has the strength that even though he may not be able to keep up with him in a race, he can stop him. As long as he can see him, he can stop him. And that's one physical and riding based roadblock that Sonic has to deal with in the movie. And I really like that. Tails saves him, gets him out of there, and to reset the situation. They get chased down some, but they can reset the situation by Tails flying him away. And I really like how as Sonic begins to realize all of these different things, and you could see when he has to fight Knuckles again, when he and Robotnik and Knuckles all enter the maze where the Master Emerald's supposed to be, he really guards the Master Emerald and just straight up says, look, if you want that emerald, you have to get through me, after already conquering his main fear of having to deal with water and running out of water. And you could see even in his fighting style, he is giving it his all along the way. And even in both of those fights, He loses, but he's giving it his all in that second fight, to the point to where you can see the choreography is much better. He's able to keep up with Knuckles' more defined moves and tactics because he's been trained as a warrior his whole life. He's been fighting, he's been training for this. You can see how he's parrying, how he's rebounding, using more of the environment to his advantage to really try to get the up on Knuckles, using mainly his speed as well as his power. He doesn't have the power of Knuckles, but he has the speed to rather amplify the power that he does have to make it hit even harder, even comboing Knuckles more and more and more and more. But it still was enough to deal with Knuckles' power because Sonic is frankly inexperienced. But that is where Knuckles' faults come in, because during all this time, Robotnik is playing him the entire time, and Knuckles is unaccustomed with the rules of this world, unlike Sonic, who has been observing and watching them over many years since he was even younger than he already is. He gets duped by Robotnik, Sonic saves him, and Sonic is about to drown. I'm surprised they didn't play the Sonic drowning music. I feel like it was supposed to be dramatic, so that's probably why they didn't play that. They didn't want to scare you. They probably just wanted to make it a more sweet moment when Knuckles saves him. Knuckles, blinded by his pride for his clan, he doesn't realize that Robotnik is duping him the entire time, which is why Robotnik says someone of a higher intellect would have seen this coming from a mile away. And Tails, on the other hand, after having to overcome his doubt in the dance club scene at the beginning, he's really dealing with the fact that when he was younger, he got made fun of a lot, didn't have any friends because people called him weird because he had two tails. He was ostracized, but when he saw someone like Sonic, who he said was also weird, but he was a hero, he was just a legend throughout the universe as well, he thought maybe if you're weird, maybe there's something different about you. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You could still be someone that's loved and determined and have a good life. And that's where Tails' importance comes in. He can use his ingenuity and his intelligence and his technology to still be able to be at the feats at Sonic and Knuckles. Although he may not have the physical strength of Knuckles or the speed of Sonic, one, he could fly, and two, he has a technology to be able to deceive and cause illusions with his holograms and traverse terrain that they just can't do. And all of that coming together towards the end of the movie when the three of them work together after Robotnik absorbs the Master Emerald and he gets his giant egg robo on Green Hills and admits his actual purpose is like, well, actually I want to enslave all humankind, and since I have intergalactic power, I also want to enslave all of them and multi-dimensional people, and just keep going from there. So it's not like he's just doing this just to do it and then he gets stopped as soon as this gets made. He has a goal. You know, I gotta say, let me just throw this in here, Jim Carrey does an excellent job. He did even better than in the first movie and with his role as Dr. Robotnik. He still has the humorous nature of Jim Carrey, spontaneous, really getting into the actual role itself. The way he can just switch to having his own humorous side, Eggman's humorous side, but also the seriousness and focus and cunningness and intelligence and danger that Robotnik can give. He displays that perfectly. He's not this big fat man, but he still has the mustache, still got the bald head, still got the coke, and he looks good in the role. They were acting in this movie. The voice actors for Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, Idris Elba, fantastic job with Knuckles the entire time. That made Knuckles dialogue as well, really capturing Knuckles' identity of being someone who's brave, smart still, but sometimes he's too blinded by his passion to really see the obvious, to where sometimes it could make him seem really dumb, but he's smart, but he's just so passionate to where it's just like he gets too one track minded. But that's also why he was such an immense threat to Sonic in the first place. The dialogue and also the acting Idris Elba did for Knuckles was phenomenal. Even when he was still the antagonist to Sonic and Tails, the way he was interacting with Eggman in the first place, how they were giving seeds and hints of Knuckles' actual disparity from how Eggman actually is. They didn't just have Knuckles be fully all in on Eggman's side and then at one point Sonic saves him and then boom, he switched over. They really made a good point of establishing that Knuckles is working with Robotnik, but they really just had an alliance for Robotnik to get back to Earth and Knuckles to get to Earth and knowing where Sonic is so he can get the Master Emerald. But then after that, Robotnik makes you deal with him again. But even when him and Stone are talking, Knuckles is like, whoa, man, aren't you gonna take your minion with you? And Robotnik's like, no, there's not enough room for him. And Knuckles is like, but that's dishonorable. Eggman's just like, this is how I roll. They're not really alike. They both have their own goals and their morals differ. Knuckles isn't actually bad. He's just here to accomplish his mission, his goal, from his tribe that died at the hands of Longclaw, or what we assume to be the case, when on the day Sonic and Knuckles both lost everything to them. And that's what really made the ending sequence when Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles again are all fighting against Eggman's giant egg robot really impactful. How they all went to the location, got together and was like, look, We all have different capabilities. Sonic's speed, Tails' intelligence, and Knuckles' power. Each one of them alone, they aren't going to get the job done. That's why they have to combine their powers in one final stand against Eggman with the power of the Master Emerald and his own machinery. That's all they gotta do, work together. And the way they choreograph the next sequence when they're running up to the Egg Robo, Sonic running, Knuckles running, Tails flying. Sonic is doing a lot of his acrobatic movements, jumping on and kicking off the robots. Knuckles is punching through them. Tails is shooting them. And they have this moment where they're standing on top of the car and they're just rotating all around each other. It really reminds me of that one sequence in the very first Avengers movie when they're just standing with their backs to each other, taking out the aliens from that invasion. It reminds me of that, but so much cooler because it's Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles in live action after they've all had their big parts of their growth and development, just springing forward with that confidence, and I loved it, every second of it. Well, the choreography in terms of when they're actually approaching the Egg Robo to when they're all running at him, Sonic goes inside his spin dash, Knuckles picks him up and throws him, and as soon as he hits the robot, Sonic unravels himself and Tails picks him up and carries him along the way. Oh man, that was so good. And then when Sonic goes off on his own after Tails drops him off at a different point to where he could run up the Egg Robo, he picks up Knuckles, and that's when they approach his leg and try to punch it from there. And then they continue up. Tails sneaks inside. He creates all his different illusions to distract him, and Knuckles is the one that actually punches the Master Emerald out of Eggman. Just all using their techniques to a level. Just, it doesn't work at first. That's what makes it really good. It's not just like they all get together, make this plan, and boom, it instantly works. They struggle at first and have to regroup and try again in a different manner. It just sets the tone so well, and it's so well choreographed. The stage set is so nice. The locations in this movie as well, from place to place to place, even mixing in a lot of the human characterization moments of Tom, his wife, and his wife's sister's wedding. They were able to naturally switch between the scenes with Sonic and them, having humorous moments where he's checking in on him and he's getting folded in the back, and then a point to where Tom mixes up the rings by accident and turns out, oh wait, the groom that's actually getting married and everybody in the audience are actually gun agents. And then Sonic has to actually go there, and boom, it was all one big operation. That's a separate operation from the robotic situation, but still paired with the ending of the first movie to where the gun agents come towards their house. I was like, oh, so robotic never exists, but what about the blue blur? Well, what about him? Is he still around here? They all suspected it, but they had to lure him in naturally, and it worked. And not even just the fight sequences that were really good, but one of my favorite scenes in the movie was the scene where they're in Siberia, or Sonic and Tails are in Siberia, and they first walk into the actual bar, and this is right after Sonic says, oh, they're all nice here. They all just stare them down. The knife goes on the table. They all give them the stink eye, and then they see the old lady, and then they relax, and the old lady just knitting a flag with a skull and crossbones on it, and Tails faints. That was hilarious. I really like that part. That's another thing I really liked about this movie, is that the humor is genuinely good. It's genuinely good. It's not something that's super cheesy and corny. It's something that feels natural and humorous, and it's not so forced. It's like, and it's on the Sonic character, so it's just like you can really see how they don't really know the world entirely yet, but they're still getting accustomed to it. And then the dance battle, I don't know who they had doing those dances that Sonic and Tails had to fight, but they were killing it. And then of course, at the moment when Tails had to overcome his fear, overcome his anxiety, overcome his degradation of himself, really helping in the second half of the dance battle when they chose their own song and Tails made all of his holograms. Oh, the nice sweet moment with Sonic and Tails when Sonic tucks him in and then Tails puts his tails over Sonic to tuck him in. That was nice. That was sweet. I like that a lot. It really gives a lot of strong character moments for the human characters, the Sonic character, while still keeping me a stronger focus on the Sonic character side this time to really set up future movies, which they're already working on. I'll talk about that after credit scene later. Jesus Christ, this video is already long. Y'all enjoying the video? But hashtag Sonic 3 win on your comment if you've stayed this long. I respect you, and subscribe already, please. If you stayed this long, hey, do I have to tell you? I'm gonna tell you anyway. Please subscribe, like too. Hey, I got you. But yes, man, as a long time Sonic fan, this isn't just a movie to where if you're a Sonic fan, you'll enjoy. If you're a Sonic fan, as we're really critical, you'll definitely enjoy it. As a just movie in and of itself, this wasn't just a strong Sonic movie. It was a strong movie that just happened to be based around Sonic. All these things that I've been mentioning are just really strong writing techniques, really strong characterization techniques, really strong pacing techniques, really strong design points in the visuals. And I almost forgot all the different Easter eggs that they put in this movie. Like how at the very end of the movie, when they get back and they're playing baseball with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and then Tom and his wife, which I really liked that part. That was really sweet. How Knuckles is like, huh, but if I just have to run around the bases and I end up back where I'm started, what is the point of running? that was funny. And then they threw in the comment about Knuckles saying, oh, ice cream, a dessert, yummy. Does it have grapes? When that's a fact that Knuckles likes grapes from one of the old instruction manuals. I think it was Sonic 3 and Knuckles. There's another part earlier in the movie where I think there was a Sonic Riders reference. Is when Sonic is alone in the house and there's a part when he's skateboarding around everywhere and his hair is styled. He has like 3 spikes of his hair spiked backwards, kind of, and he's on a skateboard. I think that was supposed to be a Jet the Hawk reference from Sonic Riders. I think, don't quote me on that. And then Stone's coffee shop was called Mean Bean, just like the Mean Bean Machine Dr. Robotnik puzzle game from a long time ago. Man, it's such obscure details that just really flesh out. This is the universe that I'm in, but it's its own continuity, and it's really good, and it's just setting the tone so much for multimedia franchises from starting as games going into the movie realm. And I think this can be a huge inspiration to video game based movies going forward. How it's okay to not have to go strictly based on the original source material as far as pacing goes, as long as you can still keep true to the source material, but do it in a way to where it's your own thing. Because if we had to wait 3 movies just for Knuckles, like if you were to get like 1 new character per movie, I think that would become really old and really dry fast. You would want to just get to the next one. It keeps giving you something more and juicy each time. It gives you plenty of juice each time. Like this, like in the first movie, you got a Sonic live action movie where at first he looked like trash and then they redesigned him and it was excellent. And this movie, not only did we get Tails and we got Knuckles voiced by Idris Elba, but also at the end of the movie, which I did not see coming. I should have seen it coming, but when the Master Emerald broke and they got Super Sonic, so good. That was very nice. And then of course, you cannot forget that after credit scene, man. They already said they're working on the Sonic 3 movie. It's already in production. Oh man, that end credit scene. They didn't try to ramp it up over a long period of time. They had Stone hidden in as one of the gun agents, which is really nice. But how they unveiled something from 50 years ago, Project Shadow. I mean, please, come on now. And did you see how he looked? Oh, I got goosebumps. I took physical damage. It was so good, man. If you thought people popped off in the reactions for this movie, if you thought people were hyped up from this movie's trailers and Knuckles being there, when the trailer drops for the 3rd movie, it's going to go crazy. Absolutely, man. Really, I've just been ranting the whole time. I didn't even want to have like a script or an outline for this video. I just wanted to naturally progress from point to point to point to point to point, because you guys know I like to run my mouth when I'm talking about things I care about on this channel. I mean, that's a lot of what I do anyway. So good. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. Let me know what you guys thought about this movie. Hashtag Sonic3Win under your comment if you stayed this long. Thank y'all for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you check the link in the description for all my links to my Twitter and my Twitch especially, because that's where I stream primarily, unless under very special occasions where I stream on both or even exclusively YouTube. But Kirby Forgotten Land coming soon. Of course, continuing Stranger Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. And then once I finish either one of those, I'm going to be going back to Pokemon Legends Arceus. And once I finish another game, I'm going to be going back to Persona 5 Strikers, and we're going to continue from there. Thank y'all for watching. This movie was fantastic. I had to get that out there. See you guys in the next one, man. Jeez.